Welcome to Display Editor Info. I've been running a case study over the last, I think, 37 months with Ezoic now. I've been running this. So this is a journey of building traffic and building ad revenue via SEO tactics, basically creating content, optimizing for search engines. This month specifically, we're talking October 2023, the month after the September helpful content update. You can see how it's affected the case study here. So let's run through it and we'll try and give you as much information as we can to support your site if you've got a site with similar issues. So here you can see in October we earned $4,154 using Ezoic from this website, broken down into three sections from the ad partner program with Ezoic, the mediation program using AdSense, and then the premium program. So three different elements built up to that. We did pay for the premium program, but because we've been going down tiers, I'm not sure what rate we're actually going to pay for October, but it's probably around $250 if I had to make an estimate. ePMV for the month is around $25, as you can see there, just under. Let's get into big data analytics. You can see the data here in a similar fashion. So you can see the page views that we've done for that month. So very flat. We had a downturn in September, but here you get the idea of that it's settled out basically. So 207,000 page views for the month. When we compare that to the previous month, here you can see the blue line. This was part of September with the traffic declining and then the traffic declining further. So September through to October, significant downturn in traffic, significant downturn in revenue. We went from $6,500 to $4,000. Just to give you an idea of the hit that we took from the helpful content update. And then going forward, the next one here, this is showing you what we did compared to October last year. So October last year, we did $15,000 via this one website. So you can see the dates there. Unfortunately, really the helpful updates and core updates across the year have favoured the site negatively. And then the site's still positively making money, but it's just not making anywhere near what it used to, unfortunately. I think I should have brought the numbers up for the year. Let's see if I can do that now through to the end of October, say, and this will give you an idea of exactly how much we've earned. And then you can also see how the traffic and revenue have declined. So for the year, we're at $105,000. This time last year, we're at $164,000. So big difference there, but still good earnings for the year. You can see how this has declined downwards, the green line compared to last year, how we were from an ad revenue perspective. Now I know a lot of people looking at this will probably that are running niche sites or running websites full time to make money might have experienced similar issues with the helpful content update in September. So of course I've been doing a lot of research on this over the last 6 weeks. I'm going to give you some of my insights to it as well. Take them with a pinch of salt. I'm not an expert, but I do run this full time and I've been doing a lot of testing myself. SEO testing, so I just wanted to show this view as well. So here you can see all the updates, Google updates that have been done over the past 18 months or whatever it is. Here specifically, if we look at the helpful content updates, you can see where they're highlighted here. So last year, September, actually we felt it after this, but about 2 weeks after that update, we had a significant drop. At the time, it felt very significant. Here, not too much happened. Slight decline, came back, settled out, jumped up, carried on, jumped down, gone up, then fully gone down here, basically. So helpful content here. So this is where the latest real issue started for us, over this period. So the traffic is right down low in the grand scheme of things compared to where we have been previously. I haven't really got anything to show on the screen now, but I've been doing a lot of research around helpful content, and I just wanted to give you some of my updates towards this. As I say, take it with a pinch of salt, but a lot of what we've been looking at is that chances are that Google have penalised websites or lowered the ranking of websites creating content for search engines, which is really most of my content strategy was around that. I do have part of a journalistic strategy, a news strategy, a product review strategy, but also had, what we'd look at as an SEO content strategy. We do keyword research and we deliver the content for those keywords, hopefully rank and pull the traffic. People that are doing that strategy and whole sites that are doing that as their only strategy seem to have had the worst traffic drops or ranking drops because of it. So changes that you can make because of this, I've had no positive impact from any of the changes I've made. I think we've got to wait for a further either a core update or maybe a Google quality rater looks at the site and classifies it differently. Who knows? I'm going to assume if you look at the gaps between the updates, I think that was about 4 or 6 months, and then this was about 9 months. So we can only assume the next helpful content update comes between a 6 and 9 month period. See what happens. It's a long time to wait for a lot of us that have lost good revenue, but see what happens. So, but a lot of what we can find out online, comes down to the EAT metrics, so trust metrics. So this was stuff like updating your about page. In my instance, I did it. I don't have a blog roll homepage, but apparently blog roll homepages were hit pretty bad. I do have latest content shown on there, but it's also a little bit structured. But I added some simple explainers to that page, just explaining what the site is about, why we create content, who am I as a person, build that out a bit. I, put a lot of work into making a really advanced About Us page, not just your standard About Us page, but really diving down into the nuts and bolts of the business and, explaining again who I am as a person, who the writers are that I work with. I did the same thing with author profiles, but making dedicated pages for those authors, showing pictures of them, and then really going into their experiences, explaining how long have they been in the industry, what qualifications they have, what experience they have, what expertise they have, showing their personal interests, that kind of thing, pictures of myself and the authors, around doing things within the niche. It looks like concise content is the way to go rather than long form content as it's been in the SEO world for some time. So I've started to test concise summaries on the start of my articles. I've only seen kind of small improvements, kind of 2-3% from when I've been testing that. I'm not saying that is the answer, but I think it actually does add more value to the reader. So helping them find the answer to their search query as soon as possible. So I've been doing that. I have had a big focus on the mobile side of my site. The traffic is about 70% mobile, and I've spent a lot of the time really trying to improve that user interface and that experience of browsing the website on mobile, which is something I've neglected. When we were doing $15,000 plus a month, I wasn't too bothered, I just left it and worked because it was earning money. Now, when I'm doing $4,000 a month, right, it's a good time to jump in there and make some changes, isn't it? So, and I've got some more tips on that. I have kind of removed a bit of content as well. So I've done some searches and using Ahrefs and Search Console, figured out content that no one's linking to, isn't ranking for anything, and just kind of got rid of it. If I think it is arguably low quality or lower quality content, I have removed that in some instances, maybe around 300 posts, which is quite painful because I had either written it or paid to have it written, and that's a lot of lost energy there. Okay, big one. I did some research around search engine quality raters from Google, although they don't say they actually are Google. And a lot of people were looking for editorial policies, and I thought that was an interesting metric or interesting asset that people should have. I didn't have a editorial policy in place, but I thought it is a good idea. So if you're doing product reviews, it explains how you're reviewing those products, why you're reviewing them, how the content's produced, what categories of content do you have, who are the authors, who's responsible for the content, what's relevant with copyright, what's the frequency of the content's going to be updated, what's the complaints procedure if someone isn't happy with any of the content, and on and on. There's loads of examples you can see of editorial policies online, but very, very useful. Copyright policy, I had nothing published for a copyright policy, either copyright for content I've created, images I've created, or using other people. So just explaining around that, what to do if there's issues, what the expectations are from the content that we've published, etc. Updating my contact us page just to make that a lot more established as a proper business rather than just give me a shout if you need something. So updated that. I also gone outside of that and updated my Google business page. I think that's pretty vital as well. So very simple to do, but I don't think I touched that in like 10 years or 9 years. So very useful to update that. Then I've gone into Ezoic and I've made a lot of changes with Ezoic. Certainly not knocking Ezoic there. I mean, I'm responsible for the website. I'm responsible for the ads that show. In the past, I've very much been like, let's turn every placeholder option on, all ad options on, and we'll let Ezoic do the magic. And of course, it will make dynamic changes to the website with whatever the goals that I specify in mind. But I think my ads in some instances haven't made the content as useful to the readers as possible, and I have optimized for more ads and showing more ads rather than optimizing for a fair amount. So right now I'm toning that down and seeing if it makes a difference. So I've swapped from a revenue focused model to a UX focused model. And realistically, I can't say I've seen much difference with the traffic that have left. I think it's changed from maybe $140 a day to about $120 a day, making that change. So, if that's 10-15%, it's not that much of a hit. It does clean the site up a little bit. I've gone and turned off video ads, autoplay video ads on the mobile experience, tablet experience. I think that's something that takes a lot of the screen. It is a big distraction. No one really likes them. I've just got rid of that. I've also turned off Humix for the minute with the videos that I've created through there, because it is auto playing video, which does then include ads. So, I do want to be using those technologies, but I think now I need to look at getting my traffic back or building traffic up before I'm monetizing to the max, really. So I need to consider that. I've got a big focus on quality, so it goes against what most people think and probably what I think, but I've turned off next gen formats and WebP. I think the compression I was getting on the images was too extreme. So I've took a step back from a speed perspective there and just going to have the full JPEGs and PNGs running on there for a bit. I think I'm going to optimize for quality rather than speed at the minute and see what happens. I've removed some ads from the very top of the page that was forcing the content down, so I've got rid of that now. And then I've also removed and turned off AI placeholders. Any placeholders which I removed, the AI placeholders pretty much filled them back in anyway. I've turned vignettes off. I think they can be quite annoying as well from a user experience point of view, so I've turned them off. And Ezoic also have this feature where you're scrolling ads. The ad can maybe fill half of the box, but you're scrolling and this ad rolls down in the box, which actually takes up more white space than it needs. It improves the viewability of that ad, but I think it's called ad stick. You have to ask your account manager to turn it off, but I've turned that off just to claw back that kind of little bit of white space and user experience there. And on really. I've made continuous improvements to that. I've looked at the top placeholders in the top maybe third of the article, maybe half of the article, and then I've optimized those to be smaller. So I've turned off any vertical ads, just gone for a 250 by 250 box. And what else we got here? So other things, I've gone over and over and over the helpful content questions that they offer you. It's kind of like a drilled down version of the raters guidelines that really says why you create the content. Don't create content for search engines, create it for readers. Really understood that, trying to understand how that affects my website. It's not new that Google have been saying this stuff. You can look 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago, I think they're saying create content for people rather than search engines. But, do they actually mean that? But I think now with what we've been seeing in the SERP, with a lot of user-generated content showing high, that we've got to make adjustments. So there's big changes here. So in the bulk of it, I'm really cleaning up. My content in most cases is very good, but I think I might have ruined it with extracting every dollar out of it. So with the ad experience, video ads, maximizing large ads in there, and dragging our content to be as long as possible to show more ads. Kind of now I'm going the reverse, and we'll see what happens. But I don't expect any changes to happen straight away. I think it's going to be months before we see any change with what happens with the current traffic that we've got here. So see what happens. I have also been testing to see what happens if you swap the author over to be either myself or another author, to see if it's relevant to who wrote the article, who has the biggest digital footprint, has been an expert in that niche, etc. So I've been playing around with that. I have seen some good gains, but it's not conclusive. So that's just a drop of all the information that I've got. There's lots of good content, podcasts, YouTube videos all around this topic. But I think we've got to keep moving with it. Hopefully a lot of you out there can still operate within the money that you've still got coming in from the content that you've got. I would look at editorial policies. I would look at really spending hours on your About Us page, author profile pages, and then let's get into the user experience. Really understand if you're giving value or if you're kind of going over the top with ads, and take it from there, really. So I won't go too hard in it. That's all I've got for now. We do have a course available. I've dropped this down just $300 just to help out those people that are interested and want to build traffic, because I know it's not a time where people have got a lot of money to spend if you are in this environment. If you're on a budget, if you go over to display ads to info, on here we've got a lot of resources showing you how to monetize with Ezoic, how to do keyword research for free and with paid tools, how to grow an audience, how to optimize your Ezoic installation for maximum cash. You can have a read about case study. You can look at all our previous revenue reports. You can see here, back in June, we're doing 13,000. Now October, almost half that. So, the world of search is changing very, very quickly. I've also got an Ask Me section on here where you can put any question you want on there. I'll try and answer it and give you the best value possible. So, feel free to do that. I think it's a very useful resource to have, or you can contact me directly if you need to as well. And that is all for now. Thank you very much for watching.